Hello everyone, in this video we're going to be looking at a very basic use of suppression and bounding up to contact. It's going to be a really short video, but I just want to go over a couple things that when using teamwork and when using the saws, you can still use suppression in public games to a certain effect. And so we're just going to go through some of the things that happen here. Right now we're pushing onto an enemy fob, which was just a repair station fob that they were using to repair their vehicles, but we want to take it out nonetheless. So we're pushing to contact right now, and you'll just see how this one basic maneuver can be used in many different situations. But yeah, we're just gonna play through the video now. Alright, we're pushing this off foot like normal logical human beings. So right here I spot the repair station, which means repair station equals fob, which means we should take this out so that they're not repairing from here and they're not spawning from here and they're not shooting us from here. I also spot an enemy player, and I just start putting fire on that player. I also saw movement over here and then another player over here, so I know that there's at least a fire team over here. Could be more, could be even be a squad, but I want to get this information in this contact report out ASAP. So as I'm firing, you'll hear that contact report come out.
Whole squad up near the old fob. On attack mark.
I mark it so that the squad can identify targets easier. You see him running around left to right. One of the saws on the right starts putting fire on that repair station. I think he killed that one guy that ran behind. I'm nailing these guys that are standing up like doofuses. And then the second saw on my left starts to open up as well.
Did you kill that guy, or did you die?
We got 126.
So you can see I'm moving up slowly, tree to tree. I'm not just running straight at the repair station. I know I have a saw on my left, I have a saw on my right, so they're going to be able to lock down any enemy movement. And I'm just trying to get up in close distance, going tree to tree, to get on top of him and kill him from behind the cover.
He's behind the fucking repair station.
So I call it out again, contact behind the repair station. You're going to hear me call it out again. He's behind the left side, right? The more accurate your contact reports, or the more accurate you can guide your friendlies in, the more accurate fire they're going to put out in turn.
I'm suppressing.
I'm pushing him.
So Triton communicates to me, I'm suppressing, which means he's going to be putting rounds all over the repair station. And if you're sitting behind this repair station, if you're the Russian, when you hear those rounds buzzing the container, especially from a saw, and you hear those hitting all over the container and it's not giving up, it's relentless, there's no break in the suppression, you're not going to peek it. There's a very low chance that this player is going to come out the left or the right side of the repair station and try to challenge, because that saw is set up with a bipod and he's putting down rounds down range. So there's a very low chance that this player is going to come out and peek me, which means me as the assaulting player, as the element that's moving forward, this is my time to exploit that and push as fast as possible onto the repair station.
I'm pushing him. Check fire. I'm pushing.
So I communicate that to Triton. I'm pushing, check your fire, because the most dangerous thing right now is getting shot in the back by Triton. Because he's suppressing the target and I'm pushing up to the target. So there's a very likely scenario where I cross his line of fire. So I'm telling him to check fire, and eventually I'll tell him to shift fire left, because I'm coming in closer and closer.
Shift left. Shift left.
And you can see these guys are completely pinned. They're not peeking the corner. So all I have to do at this point is just turn. I make sure I set to burst, right? Because the ACOG no longer has full auto, so burst is my next best option. Set to burst, and I pull the trigger on the corner. You can see both these guys were pinned behind the cover. They were trying to smoke out to decrease the suppression that they were under, and they didn't want to peek it because they knew that Saw had set up the bipod and was looking at the container. So this is a very basic example of how suppression and bounding and assaulting works in vanilla play, not just squad ops play. It's very minute. They're not as big examples or demonstrations like we'd have in squad ops, but these basic fundamentals, these basic tactics and strategies, they do hold up in public play to a certain extent. Of course, public players don't fear death as much as a squad ops player because they get respawns. Some players will challenge even though they're under suppression because suppression isn't strong enough, right? The suppression effect right now allows you to shoot back. But OWI has talked about how they want to rework suppression. So they want to go more towards the but Red Orchestra 2 kind of suppression, where that actually affects your aim and your ability to respond. So further down the lane, the more squad gets developed, suppression is going to be more of a thing with the changes and the direction that they're going. So learning these things now is going to help you when those changes come, and you're going to be able to use these tactics to more of a greater effect when that finally happens. But just a very basic guide on, or just a playthrough of how suppression works and how to assault with suppression. So number one, communication, right? Make sure you have someone suppressing, someone pushing. The person that's suppressing puts fire on the target, locks that target down, stops them from moving, stops them from challenging and peeking. During that time, the assaulting player moves into a better position. That could be wider on the right. That could be directly on the assault point. However that player wants to push. Player communicates that. Make sure he doesn't get shot in the back. You turn the corner, eliminate the target behind cover, and very simple, basic suppression and assault.
Bitch! Alright, we got him.
2 far left.
2 wide left.
And here we're just mopping up whatever's left.
Is it
Enemy
50?
big.
Is it a Vic or a Vic?
It's a big one. Yeah, no, it's sounds like a Dishka. Medic's down.
Excuse me, sir, could you please put that down?
No, it's not a Vic. You executed. Yeah, we need a new rally ambush.
I'm digging up the repair station.
I'm gonna get mortar set up at that pop.